What's going on, guys? Mike from GPURisers.com. Today I'm back at my garage and I am working on a new server build. This one specifically is going to basically just be a computer, right? I have a ATX power supply, a M.2 drive, 128 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM, a 5700G, and I think a B550 AM4 motherboard for the processor. And I have this, I think it's Roseville, or it's probably not Roseville, I don't know, I gotta take the blue stuff off of it, but this is going to be a new server that I'm building that's going to be going right, of course, into here. Now, this is the Dell PowerEdge R730. This currently is running 5 Nimbus nodes, or I'm sorry, 5 Cumulus nodes. I wish it was running 5 Nimbus nodes, but it's 5 Cumulus nodes. And I noticed when I first got this up, if you guys have been following along, the first Nimbus node was running fine. Then I added 2 Cumulus nodes, and then the first Nimbus started failing benchmarks. So then I stopped at the Cumulus, I added another Nimbus, and then both Nimbus were failing benchmarks. So long story short, with this, I'm going to load this up with, I think I think I can have 8 nodes here. So this will probably have 6 Cumulus on it. I have 5 currently, and then I want 2 Nimbus nodes. So I was going back and forth and, trying to assign different cores and threads and everything like that to try to make it work, and just honestly nothing was working. I was kind of like hitting my head against the wall. And then I've been looking into other projects and stuff like that that would be better utilized on a hypervisor like Unraid. So I was talking with a couple people, and it seems like, Unraid is the way to go for, some of these other projects and stuff. So this has ESXi VMware on it. So this server is going to house 2 Nimbus nodes, and I'm going to be running Unraid on it. Now, I do want to host a website on this server. I have to look a little more into it, because what I'm going to try is just to run 2 Nimbus nodes. I'm going to check the EPS and everything on them and see how they're doing, because the 5700G right here, this is a very powerful CPU when it comes to nodes, or FluxNodes. The EPS is very high. The computational power is very good for the price point on these. That's why I went with the G version. So I'm hopeful that I might actually be able to kind of not assign cores. If I have to, I have to. I might have to for the Nimbus. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not sure what would happen if 2 Nimbus nodes are, benchmarking at the same time, utilizing the same cores. I don't know how that would look. So what I'll probably do is run 2 Nimbus on this for a while without assigning any cores at all or threads, and kind of, watching the benchmarks and making sure that they're easily, passing the EPS for them. So I know I won't have trouble with the SSD, or not SSD, I'm sorry, M.2. I got a really good deal on this. It was a 2 terabyte I got for, I think, like $65. It's crazy how cheap these M.2 drives have gotten. They're actually cheaper than regular SSDs. It's nuts. I ended up going with 128 gigs of RAM. I always kind of hit up the mining king when it comes to nodes and everything like that. I don't think I told him about this build yet, but I'll probably bug him as soon as I start having issues with it. He did kind of point out one thing I was kind of weary about with the CPU and the M.2 drive and everything like that passing benchmarks. I'm not worried about, but the one thing I was kind of worried about is that just 64 gigs. Each Nimbus node requires 32 gigs. So I wasn't too sure, just assigning exactly 32 gigs to the node, and then, maybe Unraid would use some, or, if I had another project, just say running on this, that, just say I wanted to allocate 8 gigabytes to or something, or 16, that I wouldn't have enough RAM. That would actually start failing the benchmark, because I need to dedicate 32 to each Nimbus node. So I ended up getting a second pack of them, kind of future-proofing it, if anything. So that's why I went with that. I am using a P550B gigabyte power supply, and I think these are actually the ones that had all the issues with fires and everything like that, but I am not too worried about this. This is a 550 watt power supply, so it will definitely not be getting anywhere close to that. I expect this to be using at most 100 to 125 watts. It's really only going to be pulling power from the motherboard and CPU, so I really actually do want to replace the socket I have here. I had this installed when I redid the electrical in my house, and I can open that. There we go. So you can see right down here, I have this single 30 amp, and it was just the cheapest way, obviously, was to run it right there. So I do want to replace it with one of those like meter boxes, or what I want to do is just get like a digital reading of something on what this is pulling, because as I add more stuff to this server rack, I do want to kind of watch it. I know I could pull safely about 5,000 watts from that, but it would still be nice to know what exactly is being pulled. So that's a little bit about this. I got my screen right here to hook up to make sure I could do everything. If you guys noticed, I do have a screen up here. I accidentally threw out the power for it. If you guys look at the power on this thing, it's like an LG, this is like an old LG monitor. So I do need to probably just buy a new power cord sorry, for that. But yeah, no, it'll be kind of nice having a screen right up there. I might take it off the, off the stand right here, maybe just mount it on the back, or I could just mount it on the side here. Something, because it is kind of larger than I would want. So I know it won't really be utilized at all, kind of just setting these things up. But then I have this small one too, but the resolution's all weird on this one, so I don't know. Let me go ahead and get all this together for you, and for me, I guess. But I'm going to start getting all this together. So guys, I'll be right back, and I'm going to go ahead and put everything together. All right guys, we are back. I had to cut the video yesterday. I realized I had a full ATX motherboard, and I had to get a micro ATX. So that is what I got here. I got a B550M from MSI, just kind of a standard motherboard, nothing special, but that's going to fit right in here. And I do have to take out these cages that are usually meant for hard drives or SSDs, so I got to get those out, kind of get it all together. I do have to install the cage bolts and nuts here. I'm going to put it under the Dell PowerEdge server. I'll probably give it about 2 spaces, or maybe like 1 U equivalent. Just to keep some, space there, but I don't know how much I'm going to add in here, so I might want to put it right up against it. I have to think on that, so let me go ahead and get all that in here, and I'll talk a little bit more about it in a second. All right, guys, I got everything up and booted here. You can see here I am installing Unraid already. So I kind of had to move everything up close to this. This is actually sideways right now. The power cords I got are very short. I didn't realize that. And I have to connect up to this mesh system, so I kind of just go under this lip right here. So before I mounted it all up in there and everything, it's a lot easier, obviously, to like fix things here. There were some issues with the DDR4 RAM. I wouldn't boot with all 128 gigs, but I reseated them and it seems to be working. I went ahead, updated the BIOS on the board to the newest BIOS, so I shouldn't have to touch this thing for some time. But let me go ahead and set up Unraid. Maybe I'll do a video on that as well if you guys are interested. Drop a comment down below. I know the Mining King has great tutorials already on setting up FluxNodes and everything like that, but I could do one as well. So let me go ahead and get this installed, and we'll be right back. All right guys, I got the server in the server rack now. I know it's really not organized right now, but I'm gonna clean it up, and probably never. I don't know, I gotta figure that one out, but you guys can see here is the server right there under the Dell PowerEdge. So again, this is going to be running 2 Nimbus nodes, hopefully. So now I got to figure out Unraid. It seems like Unraid's a lot more friendly with a couple different things. I might end up switching back to ESXi if Unraid becomes, problematic. But I would like to really, kind of understand Unraid. There's a lot of usability with that, especially with, hosting your own servers at home, whether it's like WordPress or whatever really you want to do. It's a lot more friendly, and has the the apps and everything like that on it as well. So long story short, I do want to learn that. So my main priority is getting this one up and going with both Nimbuses. I have a flight out tomorrow to go look at a potential property for Terra. So I'm going to be busy with all of that. So I do want to get this up and going today. Maybe even have I know Unraid has an online dashboard type thing where you can like remotely do stuff. So I'm going to go inside and figure all that out. But that's going to be everything for this, guys. I know it's kind of short and simple. It's kind of just setting up a computer, but I kind of wanted to show you guys what I'm using, why I'm using it, and what I plan on using it for. So that's going to be everything for this one, guys. I hope everyone watching this has a great rest of the day, and we'll see you guys next time.